Judy,
I see your filters, Judy.
Judy, you keep stylizing yourself.
Okay, we are live.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is Community Board 10's general meeting for October. It's October 18th, 2021, and we are conducting our meeting via Zoom and via live stream to the public. This evening, we would like to start the meeting with the pledge, as we always do. So Josephine, if you would kindly bring up our flag graphic.
Okay, here we are.
Okay, so I'd like to start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which stands
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Josephine. I would like to now call for an adoption of the agenda.
Joe.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Do I have a second? Jane Maria, have a second. Thank you. And an adoption of the minutes.
So moved.
Shirley Chin and who else?
Doris.
Doris, thank you, Doris. Okay, and now I would like to move to the public session. We always say it's going to be 10 minutes in total. I haven't really seen that quite pan out, but let's shoot for it anyway and see what happens. So we have with us this evening a number of our elected officials, and I see that we have Senator Andrew Gedansky with us. Andrew, would you like to say anything this evening?
Great. Thank you so much, Laurie. Hello, everyone.
Thanks.
I know I missed you all last month. Hope everyone is doing well. Just a couple of quick updates since the last time I've been able to speak with you. As we all know, we have a new governor now. Governor Hochul's been in office for about 50 plus days. And I can just share with you from my perspective what I've seen so far. You see the babies having fun in the background here. It really has been a very, very different type of work environment for those of us in government. The new governor has been very accessible, very open, very eager for collaboration, which is not something that we saw very much from our prior governor. I'm just, the jury is still out to see how successful Governor Hochul will be, but so far, my report to you is that early signs seem to be pointing in the right direction. So I take that as a very, very good sign. The last legislative session, I actually held the record for the most number of bills passed through both chambers of the legislature, the Senate. And Governor Hochul actually signed my 30th law into law just a couple weeks ago, a law to benefit the baby of who's that?
I'm going to ask everyone to, let's see, I'm going to try to mute.
Yeah. The Governor Hochul signed my 30th piece of legislation into law just a couple weeks ago. And it was actually a bill to help the daughter of Detective Liu, who was shot and killed in the line of duty in December of 2014. State law did not consider that to be his daughter, even though biologically it was his daughter, because of just the outdated nature of the state's estates and trust law. So the governor signed legislation making sure that his daughter is now considered his daughter, so she can access his benefits, and all of the things that come with that. And I was very, very happy that she signed that and we got that over the finish line. So that was my 30th piece of legislation that has been signed into law in 3 years. I have 20 more bills pending on the governor's desk for this year. So stay tuned. Hopefully I'll have a higher number to report to you all in the months ahead. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it brief. I'm happy to take a question or two if we have time for it. But if not, I just want to thank you all for your continued service to the community.
Thank you very much, Senator Gedansky. Okay, I don't see any hands up, so I would like to recognize Michael Sheldon from Councilman Brannan's office. Michael, would you like to say anything this evening?
So yeah, Michael here from Councilman Brandon's office. Just wanted to, first of all, invite you all to join us. Our Halloween festivals are coming up. We're doing those with NIA and Senator Gedansky's office. We've got the 6th annual Spooktacular happening on 11th Avenue between 66th and 67th Street. That's October 30th from 11 to 4. And then we have the Halloween Festival in Owl's Head Park. That's happening on Halloween, October 31st from 1 to 5. So please come join us. We're excited to see you there. I also wanted to mention the city this last month passed Councilman Brandon's legislation to create a 5-borough resiliency plan, which we're very excited about. It's a first of its kind bill for New York City. New York City has never had its own comprehensive resiliency plan before. It's always been, we have specific resiliency projects that happen sort of in a vacuum in various locations, but the city has never moved to look at it as a more comprehensive citywide problem. And we're hoping this will help us get results outside of just Lower Manhattan and some other sort of isolated coastal areas that have seen some help. We've actually been pushing that bill for a couple of years. The rest of the council finally saw the light after the remnants of Hurricane Ida. And while we wish it didn't take that, it was certainly, good evidence as to why this sort of thing was necessary. A resiliency plan is going to require a lot of bold, big policy changes and long-term projects going into the future, but it's also about sweating the small stuff right now. To that end, we have a hearing tomorrow that's going to include another Councilman Brandon's bills that would have New York City pay for homeowners to install sewer backflow valves, which would help with the amount of water coming back up into people's basements should we see more storms like Ida, as we're expecting to. Just wanted to flag that. As always, if you need help with anything, you can reach us. Our office is available by phone or by email. Phone number is 718-748-5200. Email is askjb@council.nyc.gov. With that, thanks. It's good to see you all.
Thank you very much, Michael. And now we have, let me see, do we have, I don't think the person who is next on our list is here. So I'm just going to move on to Donald DeRosa from New York City Comptroller's Office. Donald, would you like to say a few words?
I'll continue to stay in your good graces, but so I don't have any updates, but it's great to see everyone tonight.
Thank you very much. Brief and to the point. We like it. Okay, and now we have Frank Fontana from the Department of Buildings. Frank?
Hi, Josephine. Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you? Just two quick announcements. One, I mentioned last month, the Department of Buildings released the homeowners relief program, which pertains to 1 and 2 family homes. So there were a number of revisions, and there was a number of key points to the program. One, for 1 and 2 family homes that have not received a violation in the past 5 years, the department now is allowing those homeowners to make those repairs without the associated penalties involved. So if you make those repairs, the department will waive those penalties, you'll get inspection and so forth, and those penalties will not be charged against your property. So it'll release the financial burden on those homeowners. Secondly, there's the CURE program. It used to be where those homeowners that don't fall into that category, they used to be able to repair either a class 2 or class 3 violation within 40 days. They've extended to 60 days now. And that'll avoid paying the penalties if those violations occur within 60 days. And then lastly, when a new homeowner does buy a property, we do send out a notice to the property owner with information about tips, how to obtain an architect, permits, inspections, so forth. So there's a lot of information there in case someone's interested in doing any work on their property. And then the next is the code revision. So the City Council a couple of weeks ago approved the update to the code, to the New York City Building Code. It includes thousands of different code revisions. And I'll include the link inside the chat box, so you can kind of see some of the highlights and noteworthy revisions that were made. One of them to to a basement apartments. They did lower the height requirement of basement apartment from 8 feet to 7 feet. This might help some homeowners that are interested in legalizing their basement apartments to make things a little bit easier. So I'll put that I'll put that in the chat box so you can kind of see, and then I'll be on the call if any questions or concerns do come up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we have Nancy Lulu from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Lori. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Best wishes and greetings on behalf of District Attorney Eric Gonzalez to everyone. The District Attorney's Office is very active, as always, committed to protecting our Brooklyn communities. The DA and staff have been out in communities across Brooklyn participating in various events. Just a couple of announcements about the Brooklyn DA's office's work and events. On October 10th, 2021, the late Brooklyn District Attorney Ken Thompson was honored with the co-naming of a downtown street on his 5th anniversary of his passing. A stretch of J Street between the Brooklyn DA's office and Brooklyn Supreme Court is now officially known as Kenneth P. Thompson Way. Thompson was the first African-American DA in Brooklyn, which he put in place transformative reforms and radical changes to the criminal justice system. Also, the Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez announced on October 13, 2021, that a Brooklyn man has been arraigned and an indictment in which he is charged with manslaughter, criminal negligent homicide, and other charges for striking and killing a 6-year-old child as she crossed a street in Dyker Heights. The defendant allegedly recklessly drove into oncoming traffic and got around a vehicle that was in front of him and ended up striking and killing the innocent child. We will now seek to hold him accountable for his actions. The Brooklyn DA's office is committed to protecting pedestrians and all who use our streets from unsafe drivers and who endanger our community. Also, the Brooklyn DA's office will be hosting a Hispanic Heritage Month celebration tomorrow at 1:30 at the Tillery Hotel at 85 Flatbush Extension. Special performances by the NYPD La Hora Band. You still have time to RSVP if you're interested to come. Please join us. You could RSVP at communityaffairs@brooklynda.org or call 718-250-3888. And finally, if there's something you would like to address with our office, please call the Action Center at 718-250-2340. And as always, thank you so much to Community Board 10 for all the great work. And thank you for having me this evening.
Thank you very much. And now we have signed up Sonia Bautista from the CCRB. Do we have Sonia?
Hi, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, I hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. So my name is Sonia Bautista, and I'm an outreach coordinator at the New York City Civilian Complaint Review. If this is your first time learning about us, we're a city agency that investigates allegations of police misconduct. This week, we're hosting a week of awareness to celebrate and to honor the 3-year anniversary of the passing of the Right to Know Act. So the Right to Know Act is a law that changed the way police interactions happen. So for example, officers are required to carry business cards on them. And in instances where someone is stopped, in most cases, they have to proactively offer that business card. And it's going to list information like their name, their rank, also their command or their precinct where they're located. And on the back of the business card, there's information on how someone can submit a comment or complaint about the interaction, as well as how they can request body camera footage. Also part of the Right to Know Act, it's required for police officers to let people know of their right to say no when consent is needed to conduct a search, and also to provide language access services for individuals. So I wanted to share that the week of awareness is going on, and I can put the information in the chat. We're doing pop-ups across the boroughs so people can get information and just learn about the CCRB and know that we're here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now I see we have Basil Tanakis with us from Assembly Member Michael Tanusis's office. Would you like to speak?
Hi, good evening, everybody. Nice to see some familiar faces. The Assemblyman, he can't make it tonight, but he wants to wish everyone his regards. He hopes everyone is happy and healthy. Our office is open and always willing to assist anyone, and I'll put my email in the chat.
Thank you so much. And now we have Jessica Callow from the Brooklyn Borough President's Office. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Lori. How is everyone? I'm so happy to be here. I'm just stopping by to say hello. Of course, everyone knows I'm always here. If you need anything, if you need my phone number or my email address, I'll give you my phone number now, 718-802-3813. Anyone can always call me if you need anything that the BP's office can help with. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think that we have gone through all of the people who have signed up who are present to speak during the public session. And so now I would like to move on to the public hearing and our capital and expense budget priorities for fiscal year 2023. Just before I get started, I do understand that Josephine has an update. So Josephine, do you want to speak to that?
Yes. So I just wanted to mention to board members, each year at the executive committee reviews capital and expense priorities, and we derive our list by looking at last year's list. We review data, but the district office also does outreach to community organizations. So following our executive committee meeting, I know that Brad Hennessy is on this call. We did add the 10th Avenue sewers to this year's capital priority list to our number 4 priority, included for sewer upgrades throughout the district. But there were 2 community organizations that sent in following our meeting, and most of the new capital priorities were tacked on to the end of our list on the blue sheets that I sent you, with the exception of the last 2, which were submitted after the executive met, and they're number 35 and number, wait, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, it's not here on this list. So I will, number, I guess it would be 37 would be from Bay Ridge Cares, and that is additional street lighting along the Shore Road bike path. And that is solar lighting was the specific request, because solar lighting, Bay Ridge Cares felt would be less expensive than additional lighting. And so they asked to tack that on, as well as the, let me see here. The Bay Ridge Community Development Center sent in a request to add add capital funds for a new center through the Department of Youth and Community Development. It's their goal to create, they already have a design phase for their new community center located at 98th Street and Fort Hamilton Parkway, specifically 9818 Fort Hamilton Parkway. And they are currently in the works of expanding their programming. They have really been working to have a nice community space for all Bay Ridge residents that includes programming from basketballs, an art gallery, museum space, library space, and are asking that these funds be, our advocacy for inclusion on our capital list be included. Lori? Oh, here they are. I'm sorry. So I had them as, I made them as, I have them at 32 and 33 on this list. Here they are. I'm sorry, when I transfer them over to the PowerPoint, I must have added it to the wrong page. So they're here now for board members to see. They're listed as 32 and 33. You're on
Okay,
mute,
so
Lori?
sure. Josephine, I just wanted to clarify one thing. So just so that board members know, previously we had 35 requests. Some of them were funded, so they, kind of fell off the request list. So this does not, this proposed well, I guess we're not going to say proposed amendment yet until we have a motion, but these two items really wouldn't extend our list beyond what it normally is. It's actually still shorter, I think, than in previous years. Is that right, Josephine?
Yes, that's correct. We have up to 40 that we can submit on the submission list, but we typically are about 35, 36.
Yeah. Okay. So,
So I have a question regarding the community center. Are they talking about enlarging it at a current location?
So they have programming at their current location. Their hope is to redesign it, is my understanding. They
can't expand. There's nothing they can't build on that building down there. There's nothing that they can, it would have to be the existing structure.
Yeah, BB is on the call. I know the director of the program is on the call. It's within their building, but I think their building has capital needs is what is how it was explained to me. They have hopes to design and you know, to yes. She's actually answering in the chat. I don't know, Lori, if you want to, she is on the call.
okay, but I see it in the chat. She says, yes, we can build. So I don't know if Josephine, if there are questions that, you know, we can
She's saying,
have them answer that. She says we can build 25,000 square feet. So, you know, they say that they are able to build and that they're redesigning the current facility.
so, but in other words, are they expanding the current facility, or are they just redesigning what's already there? That's my question.
Okay, so she says they're expanding.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have any more questions for the Bay Ridge Community Development Center on that item? I know this is so. Technically right now, we don't have a motion. So I will just go through the motion on this, and then I guess we'll treat this quick amendment because oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Judy.
What number is the Bay Ridge Community Development Center? I'm sorry.
Oh, so this would be added. So if you have your blue sheets, okay, so we're talking about
so on the blue sheets, right.
Yeah, capital budget priorities and requests.
Yes.
So this would be added at the end of what we.
I see.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to first let's get a motion going, and then we can see if we want to make an amendment to it. So. In the matter of prioritizing the capital and expense budget priorities for fiscal year 2023, in October, community boards have the opportunity to submit capital and expense budget requests for their respective community districts. Every year, we review and submit a list of budget priorities to the Mayor's Office of Management and Budget. OMB looks it over and sends the request to the respective city agencies. The executive committee reviewed the board's budget priorities carefully at our October 7th meeting. And so this is the blue sheets that were sent out are what the executive committee voted on. So I would call for a motion to dispense with the reading of every item on those blue sheets. Do we have a motion to dispense with the reading?
No motion for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Doris. So we have a second. So just to get this motion on the table, all in favor of dispensing with the reading of the minutes? Joe, are you going to do a poll or we want to do hands?
We'll do hands.
Okay, so all in favor, put your hands up if you can be seen, and if not, you know, give Joe a shout out and let her know.
It's overwhelming. Yes.
Okay.
I think it's unanimous.
Okay.
In favor.
So now we have the motion on the floor. We've been given this information about these two new items that have been requested to be added on to our list of budget priorities capital and expense budget priorities. So they are for added solar lighting on the bike path on Shore Road, and also for funding for the Bay Ridge Community Center. So I don't, if we want, we can take a motion, if anyone's interested in adding those things, we can take a motion from the floor to amend the committee's recommendation to include them.
I'll also make that motion, Lori.
Thank you, Dean. Do I have a second?
Joe,
Oh, thank you,
Joe
Joe.
second.
Thank you, Joe Sokolowski, second. And so now the motion is on the floor. Do we have any discussion, any questions?
Where are they getting the $25,000, 25,000 buildable from on that property?
What do you mean, where are they getting it from?
For the development, for the community center, they said they were going to expand 25,000 square feet.
Maybe
Yeah,
they're
let
going
me
into
see
the
if we can get
parking
an
lot.
answer in the chat.
I don't understand that either, Anthony. Are we talking the Bay Ridge Center?
No, this is
No,
the
no.
old. This is the
No.
old St. John's on 99th and Fort Hamilton Parkway.
They said that they conducted a zoning study. Maybe they can go up to that amount?
What
No.
is the zone, Josephine, what's the zoning on Fort Hamilton Parkway?
Yes,
It's
it
an-
is up to 25,000 feet.
It's an
she says.
R4B. It's an R4B down there.
Right, but it's a
It can't go
community,
very
fac-
high.
right, but community facility is granted an additional
Oh, sorry.
FAR.
To
Even,
two, right?
even within the R4B. I mean, I can't do the calculation right now off the top of my head,
Okay.
but the community facility, and it is an existing, I mean, we have to go through a thorough, any building plans before the Department of Buildings would be going through a full plan exam and.
Right. Yeah,
building
sure.
analysis.
Yeah. Okay. That's all good.
And Joyce, is there a parking lot on that? There's no parking lot there.
No,
There's no parking there.
No.
But there has been, they've been active for a while now. It's, everything I see is positive, and I do not normally see any parking issues as of yet.
Okay. Let me just see, I'm looking to see if anyone else has their hands up, any questions? I see something in the chat by Julie saying her hand is up. I don't see your hand up, Julie, but did you have a question?
My hand was up before, but then I put it down because I didn't know,
I'm
you know, if
sorry.
I should leave it up or not, because I didn't want it for the motion. I didn't want to have my hand up.
Okay.
I had a question about the sewers. I read through that, you know,
Mhm.
all of that you had sent, and I read all the locations that were mentioned. However, a very bad situation where I've had several clients of mine have flooded is down on Shore Road between 3rd Avenue and 4th Avenue, like near 101st Street. The sewer on the corner of 4th Avenue and Shore Road backs up continually. And those apartments that are the duplexes in that row have flooded very badly. In fact, recently, in the most recent storm, I don't know if it was Ida, I don't remember which, I can't remember which storm was which now, but one of the very, very bad storms we had, numerous people flooded there. And I was wondering if anything was going to be done about that particular location.
okay, so.
Go ahead, Joe, I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to respond to Julie to say that those locations have been advocated for by residents in the district to our office. Certainly, we can, in the short term, as we've done at other locations, ask DEP to go out and Department of Environmental Protection to take a look. You know, we have a number of locations that are on the capital list for, you know, sewer study, and they're ranked high. They're ranked number 4 on our list, which is a very high priority for us. They were even bumped up in priority. So, and I'm happy to tack that one on if that's okay with you to this, you know, as one of the locations we push forward to recommend for study for larger sewers.
Okay, so then, that would be another proposed change. Let's just, so is just on the pending motion to amend to include these two additional items. Larry, I see you have your hand up.
Yes. Just confusion about the senior center, which is which.
Mhm.
Number 3 is the Bay Ridge Center for Older Adults that's currently at 4th Avenue in Ovington. It's a senior,
Correct. The Lutheran Church, right?
right, at the Lutheran Church. The Bay Ridge Community Development Center is located at 9818 Fort Hamilton Parkway.
Where we have the meetings.
No,
No, different building?
no, that's a different building. That's a Parks Department building that's across the street. But this is the former St. John's Church.
Oh, right.
Okay, so on this pending motion, let me see, do we have any other hands up? I don't see any, so I would like to call the question of, on the motion, with the amendment of adding these two new locations. Julie, I didn't forget about you sewers. We're gonna get to it. Can we, I would like to call the question, and can we have a vote by a show of hands? And for those of you, oh, we have it, okay.
Have it.
This is for this is dispensing with the reading. I think we.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
We're in favor.
Yeah, I'm sorry, wait, I'm gonna, so sorry.
Listen, that's okay, you're doing great. You've been handling this technology wonderfully.
Can you read the motion again, please?
So the motion would be to accept the executive committee's recommendation with regard to the capital budget priorities, but with the amendment that we add these two additional items with the solar lighting on Shore Road and on the bicycle path on Shore Road, and the addition of advocating for funding for the Bay Ridge Community Development Center. Okay, so the poll is up. So if everyone would vote and then hit submit. Okay, Josephine, let me know when you're ready. So all in favor, okay.
So
And
the
now,
motion
I think that Julie had made a motion to include
In favor.
on the sewer item, that additional locations be included. Joe, what was that? Shore Road and?
Shore Road between 3rd and 4th Avenue.
Okay. So are you good on your results from the last vote?
Yes, I'm good on that vote. Do you want to
Okay,
do this one
so
by a show
Julie
of
made a
hands?
motion to amend our item number 4, which was on sewer upgrade and repair and study. So do I have a second on that?
Second.
Thank you very much, Joe. Do I have any questions, discussion? Okay, so I'd like to call the question. All in favor? What are we gonna do, Joe?
You
Show
do
of
raise,
hands?
you do a show of
Okay.
hands.
So put them up if you're in favor,
Okay,
or give a shout out.
favor, Joe.
okay,
Thank
gotcha,
you,
Joe. Thank you. Okay, I have everyone, thank you.
Great, thank you, Josephine. Okay, and so now we are on to the expense budget priorities for fiscal year 2023, which are the yellow sheets that were sent out to everyone. The executive committee reviewed this list, and so our recommendation is to approve that. I would call for a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2023 expense budget priorities as recommended by the executive committee. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Michael. Do we have a second?
Seconded.
Thank you, Dan, Habib, Diane. And so do we have any questions or discussion on these items?
Recuse myself.
We've got, well, we didn't vote yet, Larry, but pre-noted recusal by Larry. Okay, and so we have no questions or comments. I'll call the question. The polling is up. So please cast your vote and hit submit.
In favor, Josephine.
Gotcha, Joe. Thank you. Okay, Lori.
Great,
Motion
and so
passes.
that motion carries. So I believe that closes our.
I'm sorry, I put submit. It didn't
Yeah.
go. Did it go?
Okay, we'll mark you, Stella. We'll make sure you voted in favor.
Yeah, I am in favor, but I.
Okay.
Okay,
All
that's.
right, once we run the report, we'll make sure it's
I
noted.
want to make sure that you got my vote.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Stella. Okay, so that closes the public hearing. And now we move on to the chair's report. So good evening, all. It's good to see you all. This is the first time I'm seeing many of you since the summer hiatus, as I was unfortunately not able to attend last month's meeting. However, I'm lucky enough to have a very ready, willing, and capable vice chair in CB10, Tanakis, who, as always, stepped in seamlessly and handled the meeting with aplomb, and I thank her very much for doing that on such short notice. I'm also very lucky to have Anthony Marino, our new TNT chair, who has stepped up either bravely or unwittingly to undergo a trial by fire in handling the 7th and 8th Avenue hearings. And Anthony did a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was so disappointed to have missed last month's meeting, knowing how much work had gone into the preparation for it and how important the issues are. And when I watched the live stream, I was just so thankful for the team that we have here at CB10. I am so impressed by how everyone cares so much. They put in so much work. And although at times I feel like I am the ant trying to move the rubber tree plant, it's all worth it when I see the changes, small or large, that are occurring because of our efforts to bring the voice of the people of the community to the powers that be. Tonight we'll be hearing from two more new chairs, Jana Taub and Tracy Britton, who have undertaken to be our new Senior Issues, Housing, Health and Welfare and Environmental Committee chairs, respectively. I'm grateful for their willingness to do so. I'm excited that they've come aboard in their new roles. I also want to thank Stephanie Simone Mahaney for agreeing to be the new chair of Youth Services, Education and Libraries, and Henry Stewart for stepping up to be our new chair of communications. And I look forward to working with them and hearing from them at future meetings. As you know, we voted on our capital budget priorities for the upcoming fiscal year this evening, and infrastructure upgrading and repair have moved higher on our list. As we experience worsening storms and more development on our street beds, we have seen a number of floods and dangerous cave-ins, and I expect this to be the trend, unfortunately, in coming years. I was so very happy, though, to see that we received funding for a number of the requests for upgrades and repairs to our parks and amenities, which had been hanging around on our lists for years. And as the city's use of outdoor spaces has increased, this has become even more important. And I want to thank Councilman Brannan for making a lot of that happen. With regard to expense budget priorities, increasing patrol strength at the 68th precinct remains one of our highest priorities. There's no question that our precinct is deficient in patrols. We've had 2 shootings in our district within a month, and that is not welcome news in any community. I was very disappointed, but unfortunately not surprised by the agency's response, which you all saw, stating that due to fiscal constraints, the availability of funds is uncertain. The sentiment we repeatedly hear across the community is that we lack law enforcement in all regards. As I am the chairperson of a board of ants who keep trying to move the rubber tree plant, I am asking those listening who are in a position to do so to find it in the budget to provide funding for increased patrols in the 68th precinct. Respectfully submitted, Lori Willis. And now we move on to our district manager's report. You're on, Josephine.
Thank you, Lori. Good evening, board members. It's nice to see everyone. The district office has been busy this month preparing for FY 2023's budget and upcoming district needs statement. Over the past month, I attended several budget consultation meetings with agencies of the City of New York to discuss overall budgetary needs presented and that were discussed at our executive committee that we voted upon tonight. We heard from many residents and community organizations following our outreach. In particular, several parents asked me to share, and I said I would do that this evening, concerned about our school crossing guards within the community board. Specifically, the school crossing guard at Ovington and Avenue and 7th Avenue was removed. And I learned after reaching out to the precinct that while we have an allotment of 34 school crossing guards assigned to the 68th precinct, we have 6 posts that have vacancies. So we are in need of new school crossing guards, and we will certainly be advertising the position to help. I know that there's been real issues about recruiting school crossing guards in our upcoming newsletters. And if you know of anyone who's interested in being a school crossing guard, please help share the word. Although we also support adding to our 34 allotment, we need to have those positions filled. Also, I want to share with board members that Friday afternoon, I received a call from the Department of Social Services regarding the planned opening of a homeless shelter to be sited within Community District 10. This will be the first city-run shelter for 121 families with children at 801 65th Street, a vacant corner property at the former site of a one-time gasoline station. The call was followed by a letter explaining that WIN, which is a nonprofit social services provider, is in the process of opening this shelter with families, for families with children, priority at this location to individuals who have roots in the community and this area. The Department of Social Services also encourages community members to partner by joining the Community Advisory Board to maintain direct lines of communication between staff and the community to address any concerns as they arise. So we are currently working on dates to invite WIN and representatives of the Department of Social Services to an upcoming Senior Issues, Housing, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting. So stay tuned. We'll let you know when that meeting is scheduled. We are also being asked to spread the word for the Department of Sanitation as we approach leaf season. I encourage all residents to pitch in and help in leaf collection by sweeping and raking leaves and bagging them. Residents should sweep 18 inches from the curb. It slowly becomes our biggest service request in CB10 during the latter parts of October and November as the leaves fall from the trees. The Department of Sanitation sweeper trucks are not vacuum trucks, so they merely sweep and pick up as many leaves as they're capable of doing. But the department has also announced that they will have a fall leaf collection schedule. And in Brooklyn Community Board 10, we have 2 dates. Saturday, November 20th and Saturday, December 4th. And the department is asking that leaves be placed curbside, either in paper, lawn, and leaf bags or unlined bins after 4 p.m. on both those dates. That will also be emailed out to board members. The 68th precinct will be hosting its October precinct community council meeting via Zoom this month on Wednesday, October 20th at 7 p.m. The TCS New York City Marathon will also take place on Sunday, November 7th, and lots of streets are closed within Board 10, as we all know, and we will be distributing that list via our newsletter later this week. And finally, as been our tradition, since we will not be meeting in person, we will still be collecting food in loving memory of our late Community Board 10 member, Helen Sokolowski, a staunch advocate, dedicated volunteer, and who was absolutely so passionate about the need to collect food for local families in need. This year, non-perishable food donations can be delivered directly to St. Patrick's Rectory at 9511 4th Avenue, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monetary donations will also be accepted to St. Patrick's Food Pantry. A special thanks to St. Vincent de Paul Society at St. Pat's for their continued distribution of Thanksgiving food baskets for families in need. And it's hard to believe that this has been our 13th annual drive, and each year is more successful than the next. So thank you all. Our next general board meeting will take place on Monday, November 15th, 7 p.m. right here on Zoom. Respectfully submitted. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josephine. And now we have the treasurer's
Hey,
report. which
Lori,
Shirley Shin.
Lori, it's
Mhm.
Dean. I have a question for Josephine.
Yes.
If we have applicants for school crossing guards, why do we have 6 vacancies?
Well, I think that there was a brief period, from what I understand, that the classes were not being held for training. And there was a lot more attrition than they expected. So they have more vacancies than they have school crossing guards that have gone through the training. So they're in a continual, process of putting applications together to get another class going, is what I understand. I have to find out more about where they're at in terms of classes for school crossing guards, but it is a big concern having 6 vacancies. Absolutely.
Which means probably other boards have a similar situation. And,
Right.
with the city budget, the greatest it's been ever. I mean, it's just completely unacceptable. I'm sorry. Somebody's dropping the ball here.
Okay.
May I please?
Josephine?
Yeah. Josephine,
Yeah.
Go ahead,
technical
Habib.
questions. Is the school crossing person allowed to stop the bikes while the kids are crossing or not?
The school crossing guard has to make sure that the children can cross safely. So all moving vehicles, when they're at the
Including-
corner.
Including bikes?
Bicycles don't listen.
These electric things that they are flying by the school?
Yes, and if they're in the roadway, yes, the children have to cross the street. Yes, all moving traffic has to stop.
Bicycles don't listen.
Regarding the homeless shelter that you mentioned.
Yes.
May I ask once again, what was the size?
It's 121 families.
121 families?
Yeah, right now it's a vacant corner, so we don't have particulars yet on the size of the building. But it's a large corner lot.
Right.
I mean, I'm familiar with the lot because it was
Yeah.
a gas station there.
Mhm.
And the I had a brief call with Department of Social Services, and so the building plans are not yet filed, but we should be getting more information about the building size, but the number of families is set at 121.
Right, so I was just wondering if there was a timeline on it for those members, for the community, wondering about, zoning for the schools for the children and so on.
Yeah,
and-
I did ask that question. I actually did ask that question because I wasn't sure if it would be PS 69 or the school on Fort Hamilton Parkway. I forget the name.
It may actually be PS
310.
170. Yeah, it may actually be
Possibly.
70. The way our zoning is, it's so cut up. But, I would just want to make sure that the schools would be prepared as well and, share.
Right. And that will be certainly be part of the meeting. What was explained to me by the Department of Social Services is that typically students remain at the schools that, they have been attending, but the target date for opening is the end of 22.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Say, Joe.
Josephine,
we
I have a
any-
question. I just have a statement regarding crossing guards. I just want it noted that pre-K centers, which we have 11 buildings, don't qualify for crossing guards, and I think that's a travesty. We're told that because the children are young, they're assumed to be walking with their parents, but we all know that kids run ahead of their parents, etc. And I think that there should be a statement made. I've spoken at various gatherings about this, that we are not entitled to crossing guards. And so that would make the need even greater by 11 more buildings. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you, Diane.
Hey, Joe, it's Dean.
Dean?
Would we have any say into them designing this family shelter? Because I think it would be wonderful if they could include some open space so the children would have someplace to go besides on the street.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one of the issues we'll raise at the meeting with them, because I don't see plans yet filed with the Department of Buildings. So that's something that we can raise with the sponsor when.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, Dean. Lori?
Yes, so now I'd like to move on to the treasurer's report with Shirley Chin. Go ahead, Shirley.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. You're welcome.
Excuse me, I had my hand raised to
Oh, I'm
just speak
sorry.
Oh.
about the home. That's no problem. I've been very patient.
No problem.
Yeah, well, hold on, Shirley. Jill, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment about the homeless shelter, which I am 100% in agreement with. However, there is someone on, I don't know, I guess it's someone from the public session that's typing in, that's concerned about the size and the infrastructure to house all those families that might be coming into there. I've had this issue for many years with all of Park Slope and all of 4th Avenue, building, all these homes, and the increasing population of families and the fact that the infrastructure can't handle it. So I just wanted to bring that up again so that when you're in the meeting, infrastructure is really important. And I think that people that are concerned about it have a right to speak of it, and I agree with them. And I think that we have to continue to put that in the forefront of our community's minds, because it is an issue, and I think it needs to be addressed.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So what I would like to do now is maybe, we should put this on an agenda, as an agenda item, as we get more information. And after, Joe has her meeting, maybe we can, put this to a committee.
Well, it'll be a committee meeting.
Yeah, we will get, gather the input and, make our recommendations, when we have more information, and we can really, channel our comments, toward the information that we're getting. And I think that the timeline on this wasn't until 2022, they stated in their notice. So, and again, they haven't even broken ground yet. So we do have a little bit of time on this. But for tonight's meeting, it's not on the agenda. I know we do have a lot of questions, and it was something that did come up, but I would like to put this, have this discussion when it's on the agenda. So I saw a few more hands raised, and I don't know if your comments were going to go to that item, but I see they're down now. So I would like to move ahead now with Shirley's report. So go ahead, Shirley.
Okay. So, Community Board 10 Treasurer's Report as of September 30, 2021. Total personal services is $53,930.82. Total other than personal services, we have $8,616.38, leaving an encumbered budget balance of $198,671.80. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shirley. And now we were on to Police and Public Safety with Barbara Vellucci. Barbara, are you on mute?
There you go. Can you hear me now?
Can hear you now, Barbara.
Okay, great. Good to be back with you. We're beginning with a new application for a full restaurant named Red Bowl Chinese Restaurant, Inc. It's located at 8518 to 8520 3rd Avenue. The owner is Vivian O. Chan, was present at this meeting. Also present with the owner was Mr. Terrence Flynn Jr., the attorney. This applicant is transferring the liquor license from the premise located at 208 Bedford Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, of the same name. The questionnaire was complete. The menu, premise photos, and the floor plan was provided. There will only be background recorded music and no outdoor use. The certificate of occupancy was available, stating a number of 120 persons. There will be a total of 104 seats and 9 seats at the bar. This is the location of the former Pearl Room, in case you're wondering where that was. After a discussion period, the committee's decision was to move to deny this application unless the owner agreed to the following stipulations: that the premise will operate as a restaurant, that there will be no sale or consumption of alcohol on the premise until appropriate authorization is issued by the SLA. The hours of operation will be Sunday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 11 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. The doors and windows are to remain closed in coordination with any amplified music. There will only be background recorded music, and the sound level will remain below the level permitted by the New York City Noise Code. There will be no music on the outside of the premises, and there will be no use of outdoor space. The licensee shall not use any promoter or have promoted events. There will be no smoking permitted. There will be a 20% glazing, that is eye level view into the establishment at all times. The applicant agrees that should it change its method of operation, it will give notice and meet with the community board and committee at least 45 days in advance of any such change. And the applicant has agreed to all of the above stipulations. The committee was all in favor of this. So I ask that the board approve the committee's recommendation in a form of a motion.
Okay, so did you meet in quorum?
Yes, we did.
Yes, you did. Okay, so the motion's on the floor. Do we have any questions?
Yes, I
Comments?
raised my hand. I had a
Wait,
question. Sorry.
Okay, Julie, go ahead.
I don't remember which number it was on the list, but it said no use of any outdoor space. Do you mean like in the back that if they have an outdoor space, are you referring to the street where all the restaurants are putting tables outside?
They said no, nothing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other hands up at the moment. Does anyone else have any questions or any comments? I do have one quick question, Barbara.
Okay.
This is kind of a large space, so I'm curious, does the owner have any prior, restaurant experience?
Yes, it was at 208 Bedford Avenue.
Okay.
They closed for COVID, and they're moving. They saw the space in Bay Ridge, and they're moving.
Okay, great. Okay, so I don't see, Julie, I think you still have your hand up, but I think we got to you. I don't see any other hands up. Okay,
Habib has
so
his hand up, Lori.
who is that?
Habib has his hand up.
Oh, Habib, go ahead.
Just for the question that she raised on the outside, on the curb or the sidewalk, I think if the city is saying to them that they can use it, can we stop it?
No.
That's why, yeah. So they could use the sidewalk. That's what it is.
I guess
that's really an interesting question.
Yeah, no, they can't unless they can't serve alcohol. If they had an outside area, what they're saying that they felt the sidewalk was not wide enough on their front, that they did not want to serve outside. But the broader question is, if a licensed establishment wants to sell liquor outside, it must be indicated on their state liquor authority license. And that includes with the city's program. So if it wasn't initially, they actually recently got letters saying if you have an outdoor cafe and want to continue it, you have to notify us and let us know. So it's included as part of your liquor license.
Okay, thank you very much, Josephine, for that clarification. Good question, Habib. Do we have anyone else? So I'm looking, when I'm looking for hands up, I'm looking to see if you actually have your electronic hands up. Sometimes I'm not scrolling fast enough to see if your hand is physically up. So if anybody's got their hand up, just give me a shout out because I don't see anyone.
In favor.
All right, Joe's voting. I'm calling the question. Joe already voted in favor.
Good.
Everyone mark your ballot. I get the hint, Joe. We're moving forward. Okay. All right, are you good, Joe?
Okay, yep, we're good.
We have the results and the motion carries. Terrific. Thank you so much. Barbara, next topic.
Yes, the next topic, I just say to get comfortable. Okay, so this is a renewal application for Chill Bar and Hookah Lounge located at 7810 3rd Avenue.
5th Avenue.
And 5th Avenue?
5th Avenue, it says.
Okay, I will have to check that.
It is 5th Avenue.
It is 5th Avenue.
Okay, I consider it changed. Thank you. Okay, so this is a request of a the full on-premise license renewal of Chill Corp, doing business as Chill Bar and Hookah Lounge. The owner, Joseph Sekali, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I believe I am. It's Seikali, and his sister, who is now the manager of this establishment, were present for this meeting. Their attorney, Kathleen E. Neary Stantopoulos, was also present. In the detailed report from the last review, which was in April 2016, numerous complaints were placed into the record regarding this establishment. In some, complaints stem from the continuing use of the smell of hookah smoke emanating from this establishment into the street and surrounding residential businesses, residences and businesses. And that's from the back and the front. This was caused because the screen doors were left open. The stipulations agreed to at the time, that was 2015, were clear and included that smoke eaters be installed and that the doors remain closed at all times during hours of operation. These hours are Sunday through Thursday, 4 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., and Friday and Saturday, 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. Not only were these stipulations not adhered to, but the owner failed to attend the 2016 review. In preparation of this meeting, of the 2016 meeting, all proper protocols regarding notification were followed. There were several letters in the file from 2015 requesting compliance from this owner. No response is noted. Please note that this board denied this application in 2016 based on non-compliance from the applicant. In response to community notification regarding this meeting that we had last week, several letters and calls were received. The letters were reviewed that complained of the owner's failure to maintain or supervise the patron behavior outside of the premise. That was one of the stipulations. In addition, serious complaints from all were regarding the noise, unruly behavior, and the intolerable stench of the smoke and burning that is emanating out of the back doors into the neighbors' yards, apartments, and businesses. All neighbors stated that they want to move because of the presence of this particular establishment. In October 2020, and again in October 21, gunshots were fired directly in front of this establishment. There are additional serious incidents concerning this establishment up to and including the present time. 34 311 service requests. And that was from 2019 through 2021. Noise, fireworks, non-adherence to COVID protocols, complaints. Serving hookah, shisha with tobacco and marijuana. Councilman Brennan referred this to the Department of Health in November 2020. Hosting gambling events regularly. There's an illegal kitchen in the basement, the boiler room. It was a Department of Building violation in 2018. The owner does not supervise or maintain appropriate behavior from the patrons. SLA violations issued. Failure to supervise. Disorderly premise civil penalty of $2,500. Serving alcoholic popsicles. Not following New York State SLA and New York State social distancing guidelines. Non-conformance to DOB, building codes, and fire codes. Non-adherence to Community Board 10 stipulations. Now, the owners this evening stated that they would be willing to cooperate and follow all stipulations from 2015. They will work hard to improve their business. Mr. Sekali's sister is now the manager. They stated that the crime rate in New York City is up this year, and they have hired security who will search patrons and scan them before entering the establishment. The committee's response was clear. The concerns regarding this establishment has been ongoing since the beginning. The owner has blatantly disregarded the calls for meetings and reviews to discuss these issues. In addition, if security and metal detectors are necessary now, then that is evidence that the clientele is known to be unsavory. None of the problems delineated are a reflection of the mood of this city, but rather of this specific establishment in this community. We are in receipt of a well-publicized letter signed and dated October 4th, that's of this year, by all 4 of our elected officials, summarizing the history of this establishment. To summarize it, it reads, on October 2, 2021, at approximately 4 a.m., several gunshots were fired into the air outside of Chill Hookah Lounge. This is the second time shots have been fired in less than a year. Over the past several years, there have been many incidents of violence, illegal gambling, drug sales, and underage drinking. Many fines have been issued. The stipulations agreed to by the owner have been ignored. It is evident that the owner is either unwilling or unable to operate a safe and lawful establishment. In closing, all 4 of our elected officials request the SLA revoke this license. This letter is signed by Councilman Justin Brennan, Member of Congress Nicole Maliotakis, State Senator Andrew Gonatas, and Member of Assembly Michael Tanoutsis. The members of this committee express that we support local establishment, but that we also have a responsibility to our residents, that there is an expectation of a level of quality of life for them, and that we as a community board represent them. We are their voice. It was also expressed that the owners blatantly disregarded efforts for outreach and cooperation for several years. Now that a letter was written and signed by all 4 of the elected officials, do the owner and manager promise to cooperate? This is unacceptable. A motion was made, seconded, and the committee was 100% in favor that we as a community board, we as Community Board 10, send a letter to the SLA in support of the letter sent by all of our elected officials that the license for the Chill Bar and Hookah Lounge be revoked. And with that, I leave the board hopefully to approve our motion that was 100% approved.
Okay, so the motion is on the floor. The recommendation by the committee was not only to advise the SLA to deny the renewal, but really requesting the revocation of the requesting revocation of the license. So does anyone have any questions or comments? I don't see any. If I'm missing someone, just shout it out. Okay, it's silent. So I call the question. Polling feature is up. Please cast your vote.
In favor.
Thank you, Joe.
I'm confused by how it's cited. It just says renewal application. It doesn't say to deny the renewal application. So if I'm voting in favor, am I voting to deny?
Yes.
To deny the renewal.
Yes.
Because it should say that. You know?
Okay.
Was that just on the polling feature, Joe? Or was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. I think we'll fix that in the future. We'll copy the, you limited in the amount of spaces on the.
It looked like we approved it.
Right.
So I'm troubled.
Well, it's approving the motion, but we'll
it's
clarify that.
approving.
You're right, Judy.
So you're voting in favor of the committee's motion
to deny
deny the renewal.
I just further about the record, Lori, you know, if it was every.
Oh yeah, no, it's important. I mean, everyone, it's good because if you're confused, someone else probably is confused as well, and try to get the vote right.
Thank you. So motion carries.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara. And we are on to the Parks Committee report with Diane Gennardis.
No, Henry Stewart.
Oh, Henry. Oh my gosh, no, not Diane, not Diane.
Sorry, I wasn't there.
I'm just so used to saying it. It's been so long. Henry, sorry.
Thank you, Henry.
Fine. Yeah, so the Parks Committee met in quorum on October 4th, 2021. Diane Grenardis could not attend, so I was the acting chair. The agenda was a presentation from the Parks Department about the current status of capital projects and parks identified in the community. There are a lot of parks projects currently underway, so I will try to do this as quick as possible. The Fort Hamilton Field Courts, which run along 83rd Street between Colonial Road and Narrows, were identified as the worst courts in Brooklyn, and they're undergoing a $2.2 million renovation, including 2 full basketball courts and 2 full tennis courts. These are in active construction, and they're expected to be done by the fall of 2022. Russell Peterson Playground on Colonial Road from 83rd to 84th Streets is undergoing a complete $5.4 million renovation with new playground equipment, drainage, sidewalks, lighting, and more. Construction is expected to begin in fall of 2022 and finish a year later. However, COVID has upended the Parks Department schedule, so all construction start dates are subject to change. The $2.4 million reconstruction of the J.J. Carty Park Courts on Fort Hamilton Parkway between Marine Avenue and 101st Street was recently completed with new tennis courts, pickleball courts, a parking lot, and a garden for the senior center. Phase 2 of J.J. Carty will focus on the playground along Fort Hamilton Parkway between roughly 95th and 97th Streets. And that should begin in the fall of 2023 and finish a year later. It'll be a $5.4 million renovation with new playground equipment, drainage, sidewalks, fencing, spray shower, and more. Patrick O'Rourke Playground on 81st Street between 11th and 12th Avenues will get a $1 million reconstruction with new asphalt hoops, backboards, and benches. That'll start in the spring of 2022 and finish in the fall of 2022. It's funded through the mayor's new State of Good Repair funding program, which is for small expedited projects. And Josephine had asked if the work would include new fencing, and the Parks Department said no. The 95th Street Field House in Shore Road Park was completely renovated. Though the project had been delayed because of COVID, the department and National Grid had to run a new gas line from Shore Road to the building, which also caused additional delays. But the work is done, and Parks was just waiting for a final inspection and hope to see it open within 2 or 3 weeks. That was a $4.25 million renovation with updated HVAC, comfort stations, maintenance spaces, and a community room. Work on a new $1 million dog run in Shore Road Park between 3rd and 4th Avenues is expected to begin in the fall of 2022 and finish a year later. A path in Shore Road Park along the fence with the highway from about 95th to 97th Streets, which will connect Vinland Playground and the field house to the tennis courts and other courts behind the ball fields. It's being restored. It's presently wood chips. It's $1.27 million, and it's expected to begin in fall of 22 and finish a year later. Vinland Playground on Shore Road at 94th Street will receive a $3.4 million renovation with new play equipment, drainage, lighting, fencing, sidewalks, spray shower, and more. It's currently in design, and work is expected to begin in fall of 2023 and finish a year later. In Diker Beach Park, a multi-purpose asphalt playfield on 86th Street between 13th and 14th Avenues will receive less than $1 million reconstruction, and some of the basketball courts there will be resurfaced. This is also part of that State of Good Repair program. That work is expected to begin in the spring of 2022 and finish by the fall. This was a site of, there were a lot of complaints about this site, so the Parks Department was excited to be able to address them. The Owl's Head Park Playground, including the spray shower area, so this is along Colonial Road on either side of 67th Street, will receive a complete $4 million renovation with new play equipment, drainage, pavement, lighting, spray shower, and more. Construction is supposed to begin in fall of 2023 and finish a year later. The basketball courts will also be reconstructed. This is a separate $4 million project. That work is expected to begin in the spring of 2023 and finish a year later, though the contracts might be combined so they can move together a little more quickly. Owl's Head Park itself is receiving $2 million reconstruction. That'll be in 2 phases, so as not to close the entire park. But this will be the slopes, the paths, retaining walls, drainage, landscaping, seating, and lighting are all going to be redone. The Parks Department said it might not sound like a lot, but that they expected it to be transformative, kind of making the park feel brand new. There is also a $7.6 million engineering study of the bike path underway from the Verrazano to Caesars Bay, and this is to explore the best use of funds for construction. That's expected to be completed in the fall of 2021. The worst parts of the bike path from Fort Hamilton to 17th Avenue were repaved this summer, a $600,000 Band-Aid until the study is complete to figure out a better long-term solution. $5 million was recently allotted for the reconstruction of McKinley Park's basketball courts and playground. And so a scoping meeting with the general public will be held soon. There was a board member who was concerned that the field house cost $4 million, but Park said a typical comfort station renovation is $1.5 million, and the building on 95th Street is significantly larger, and it's a historic building that needed facade work and plus a gut renovation. They also ran in all new utilities. Another board member was concerned about the tennis courts in J.J. Carty Park because some of them are uneven and pitched. And the Parks Department said they would look into that, and there may be, they can get redress from the contractors. There was a question about whether the tennis courts in Shore Road Park, which are adjacent to the upcoming dog park, and whether they would be renovated. The Parks Department said it's been in their needs statements before, and that they're open to it. They just need funding, and as of now, none has been provided. Somebody else asked if the Band-Aid fixes on the bike path would continue until the larger engineering study were finished. And Park said if there were other areas of concern to let them know. And Josephine asked if Parks could find out the status of this engineering study, and they said yes. And that maybe the next time they come to meet with the committee that they could bring an engineer to explain it. But he didn't really seem to know a lot about this engineering study. A member of the public expressed concern about the lack of maintenance at the 95th Street ramp into Shore Road Park, that a lot of the shrubbery that they had planted when it opened had died, and gardens were overtaken by weeds. And they, the Parks Department said, they had a difficult time during the pandemic to hit all of the neighborhood's green spaces. This summer, they assigned a 4-person cutting crew to Shore Road, which she thought helped, but because of all the rain this summer, as well as they can't use things like Roundup, that it's difficult to keep the weeds in check. Because maintenance isn't built into capital project budgets, even though Parks has asked for that before. But the Parks Department needs more staffing. They said they have only one gardener for District 10. This is like somebody with actual horticultural expertise. It's not just cutting grass or weeds. And although recently all of the gardeners in the borough were pulled and sent as a team to problem spots, and that team spent a week and a half at the 95th Street ramp. Somebody asked if they could bring in goats, like they had recently done in Riverside Park, and they said they would love that, and they would reach out to see how that exactly would work. James Johnson from the Narrows Botanical Garden was there. He was astonished that there's only one gardener. He said, the public needs to be made aware of this, and the Parks Department agreed, saying, if we shine a light on an issue, it can get the attention of the local government. So Josephine, that was worked into the expense needs report that we had before. Somebody also asked about the community room in the field house and what that would be used for, and it sounded like the Parks Department wasn't sure yet. They're thinking about doing maybe recreation programmings out of it, but that conversation is still ongoing. So yeah, we have a lot more ongoing parks projects than most districts, thanks mostly to funding from Councilmember Brannan. But they still identified some needs. Diker Beach Park, for example, they thought it could use a three-phase $15 million reconstruction. That's for new paths and drainage throughout the Bay 8th Street quadrant, for reconstruction of the Mosomilo Memorial basketball courts and reconstruction of the tennis courts on 14th Avenue. Then they had another three-phase $30 million plan for Diker Beach Park, which involved redoing all 5 of the baseball fields by the 14th Avenue quadrant, as well as the playground, basketball courts, handball courts, and sitting areas at the corner of 86th and 14th. In addition, it's John Paul Jones Park. They think needs $2 million to reconstruct the paths and benches, similar to the work that's scheduled to be done at Owl's Head. The Cannonball Park, has the hexagon block paths, which, they lead to weeds, stones sink. So the Parks Department was also advocating for $10 million in general improvements to Shore Road Park, for new paths, drainage, sidewalks, and benches. They said you could budget $30 million to Shore Road Park and still not get to everything, but they were hoping for at least $10 million. The board's capital needs statement is very parks heavy, and also incorporating ideas from the public. There was things about new sidewalks at Shore Road Park that are navigable for wheelchair users. The same for sidewalks around Leif Erikson Park, and that the McKinley Park needs a renovated park house. And on the expense side, more money for tree pruning and new trees. And with that, the meeting was adjourned.
Thank you very much, Henry. It's a very, very good, very detailed report. Okay, do we have any questions or for Henry? Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Henry. I am like blown away by that report. And everyone that walks around this neighborhood looks at the parks and says, what, why, this, that, and there you go. So it's a lot of money and it's a lot of work and great report. And I hope that we get everything that's awarded to us and even more so. So thank you, Henry. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Laura, you're on mute.
Do we have any more comments, questions? Okay, I don't see any.
I have 2 questions.
Who's this? Oh, Doris, go ahead.
Doris. I had asked the Parks Department to follow up more than 5 years ago. The Parks Department is now in charge of street trees. And they removed them. They removed trees on 4th Avenue between 99th Street and 101st Street, and they have not replaced them. The developer was required to install them, and the Parks Department removed them and have not replaced them. And that's unconscionable. And then I would just like to say, although there's only one gardener, they're doing a really good job at mowing the grass in Cannonball Park.
Okay. All right, thank you, Doris. Okay, I think we are ready to move on. So thank you very much, Henry. And now we are moving on to Senior Issues, Housing, Health, and Welfare Committee report with Janet Tao.
Hi, everyone. So the Senior Issues Housing, Health, and Welfare Committee of CB10 met in quorum for a meeting via Zoom on September 22nd, 2021 at 7:00 p.m. The meeting was also live streamed on YouTube for those who could not access it via Zoom. It is an honor to be the new chair of this committee, and it is a position I take with great pride and seriousness. There are so many wonderful resources available in our community, and in this meeting, we were able to highlight quite a few. So this is an informational meeting with 3 presentations. Presenters were given about 15 minutes, including a question and answer session to address any concerns. The first presentation was given by Katerina Bartel and Todd Flidner from the Bay Ridge Center regarding updates on the COVID-19 vaccination program that they have been working on. It was mentioned throughout this meeting that COVID-19 created many difficulties in communication, especially for our senior community members. The program targeted primarily assisting seniors and also aimed to connect community members to vaccination sites to make it easier to obtain a vaccine. They also participate in a city referral program, which can reward participants getting their vaccine up to $200. In addition to connecting community members, the center was also available to answer any questions residents had regarding the vaccine and now regarding the booster shot. Not much information was available on this topic as the updates are being given daily, but it was generally agreed that booster shots would help boost immunity in people who are at high risk, which consists of primarily our community members who are 65 years or older. They have successfully helped vaccinate over 2,000 seniors and have distributed over 40,000 flyers around Bee Ridge, and more information can be available regarding their services upon request. The second presentation was given by Lauren Folkler and Rebecca Gallagher, who are representatives from NYU Langone. They gave presentations regarding family health centers and services for older adults. The resources expressed in this presentation were extremely detailed and can be provided upon request, but the main points are that they support all community members, including those that do not have access to healthcare and are primarily oriented to the needs of immigrant families from diverse origins. In addition to this, their behavioral and mental health services are still available during the pandemic as they are given sessions over telehealth services. In addition to this, they have engagement with over 20,000 community residents, from maternal health services to services for older adults and youth development, including providing support to dropout students and those at high risk to drop out. They also provide hot and nutritious meals to senior residents at their location at 9000 Shore Road and provide assistance for them in navigating the digital world. They were also very clear to note that citizens do not need to be residents at the senior center to be able to enjoy the services provided, like the warm meals. They also offer social adult day services for adults 60 years or older with cognitive impairments and who are at risk for social isolation. Their goal is ultimately to help support all in our community and create a plan based on their individual needs. And our last presentation, the third presentation, was given by Donna May DiPaolo, who provided information regarding programs given by the Resource Training Center / Christopher's Reason. She expressed the need to have a center who can provide an appointment for high-risk community members right when they call. Sometimes those struggling with substance abuse or alcoholism do not have a large window before a relapse or an overdose. So the goal is to keep our community members supported and have them understand that there are local organizations that can provide them with support. Their Staten Island location, in fact, houses 20 young adults for free, and they help teach them life skills, including how to work and care for themselves. So if these young adults can master these skills, then when they face the outside world, they're going to be very well prepared. So again, more information can be provided upon request, and the Senior Issues Housing, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting ended at about 8:10 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Jana Toby. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jana.
Any
And then-
number or any information? Does she have any?
For which one, the last one?
Yeah.
We can email to you. Yeah, I can also add it in the chat and I will ask. And
We'll email it out.
Yeah, and the chat also says, please provide your contact information, put in which one you would like to see.
Thank you, Jana. Okay. And now we are moving on to our final committee report, Environmental Committee, with Tracy. Where are you?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. The Environmental Committee met at 7 p.m. on October 6, 2021 via Zoom, and we met in quorum. We had two presentations that night, one from the Department of Sanitation and one from the Department of Environmental Protection. The first was the reinstatement of organics collection, including changes to the program. Curbside composting has started back up earlier than originally expected, and the DSNY is working to bring the program back more efficient, or even more efficiently. The 44 districts that previously had access to curbside composting are eligible to get service starting this month, and the map can be viewed on the DSNY website. They're working to add more food scrap drop-off sites to community districts not yet eligible for curbside composting. If you are interested, it is important to sign up, as the Department of Sanitation needs to know that you plan on participating. The more signups in your area, the quicker the service will start. The goal is to expand as quickly as possible. In the past, brown bins may have been dropped off to those not interested in participating, and signing up just ensures that the truck routes are organized efficiently for material pickup. Food scraps, food soiled paper, waste comprise of 1/3 of all the trash that New Yorkers throw away. So it's just a reminder that if it grows, it goes, and that food scraps, including meat, food soiled paper, and leaf and yard waste can all go in the brown bins. Also, plastic bags can now be used in the bins. So I encourage everyone to please sign up at nyc.gov/curbside composting or call 311 to add your building or home. The second presentation was from the DAP regarding the Green Infrastructure Program. So when it rains, the Green Infrastructure collects and manages the rainwater or stormwater that falls on our city streets and sidewalks. Green infrastructure prevents stormwater from entering the sewer system, which helps improve the health of the local waterways. The DEP Green Infrastructure Program for South Brooklyn overlaps into CB10 roughly between 10th Avenue and 14th Avenue and 63rd Street to 81st Street. Over the past year, you may have seen DEP in the area performing geotechnical investigation of soil suitability for porous pavement. And porous pavement is a special roadway paving that's designed to collect and manage stormwater that runs off the streets and sidewalks when it rains. During construction, material underneath is excavated to a 2-foot depth and backfilled. The excavated area is then backfilled with stone, which allows for infiltration. The asphalt surface will be replaced with 4-foot-wide porous concrete panels, prefabricated, and any sidewalk or curb that must be removed during installation will be replaced. During construction, every effort will be made to limit the impact construction activities may have on residents. All ongoing maintenance will be the responsibility of the city. I encourage you to go to the DEP website at nyc.gov/green infrastructure for more information on the infrastructure and more specifically the brochure on porous pavement. The meeting was adjourned at 8:05 p.m. and respectfully submitted.
Thank you very much, Tracy. Do we have any questions or comments for Tracy on any of the items? Larry, go ahead.
And how does one pack up the brown bins? Where are they? How does one pick up the brown bins?
Brown bins are for private homeowners.
Yes. Oh, I see. Okay. Not for apartments then.
They
can. I think they can be requested.
So again, it would have to be the management requesting the brown bin.
One of the things that the Department of Sanitation this time around is they're collecting personal information so that even if you're in a building, they encourage you to sign up and give the information so that they know how to reach out to the management as well. Okay. And maybe possibly work with the management to establish a program within the building.
Sounds good. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Doris, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, the city has, on a very limited basis, resumed organic collections. I think it's in one community board in Brooklyn. And Community Board 10 is in the top 10 of people who've signed up. But we need to move up our participation. How can we do outreach to encourage people to sign up? Because I'm tired of throwing that stuff in the trash. And it's too far for me that we have no drop-off sites, within 10 blocks of me.
Yes, I mean, I also agree that I would like to see more drop-off sites in South Brooklyn. I know that they are doing, the Department of Sanitation, they mentioned that they're doing a lot more outreach for the sign up this time around and just trying to get more involvement because it really moves much more quickly with the sign up and involvement. But they also mentioned that there are flyers that you can distribute to your neighbors. It's just about getting the word out.
And we can promote it more too. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we can. Yes, thank you.
You still have any budget money to do one of those postcard drops that were always so successful? Do you think you could do a postcard?
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. We could do a target. It would have to be pretty targeted because I wonder if I could get the data from DSNY on where our organics usage was heaviest, and maybe we could go back to those areas with a targeted mailing.
And is there any, is there any way to do some sort of community mailing? Like do something through the senior center, through Bay Ridge Cares, through some of those groups that have a natural outlet? If there are flyers available, could you make some drop-offs, whether you have one of your volunteers?
That's a great idea.
One.
Absolutely.
I'm just giving you more work.
No, that's okay. We have many board members too that are very helpful, and we have a very good connection in the organics program right here on our board, Richard Day, who is also the presenter that evening. So we'll get those materials, and those are all great ideas and suggestions. Absolutely.
And I know that there's a lot of electioneering going around, a lot of door to door. If they were giving out the political and this thing with it, maybe they could do double duty.
Oh, yeah.
None of those elected officials will say no to you, Judge.
Okay, do we have any other comments? Any other questions for Tracy? No. Okay, Tracy, thank you so much. And so now we move on to any old business. Just give a shout out if you've got some old business you want to bring up.
Lori?
Yes.
Julie, I think I was told this comes under old business. I had inquired, I'd sent an email to Josephine, or I forget who I sent it to now, I'm sorry, regarding the noise, the car racing, the mufflers and all this stuff on Shore Road. And what is actually being done about it. I understand, so the police have been notified and everything. When you live on Shore Road, and I know it's happening other places too, when you live on Shore Road and you're sleeping at night and at 2 and 3 in the morning, these cars are backfiring and there's the mufflers are loud. And, you know, I spoke to Justin Brown about it. He said, oh, a lot of it's from the Belt Parkway. Well, even if it's on the Belt Parkway, where are the police? I mean, it's very, very disturbing. Something has to be done, and it's not all on the Belt. It's also on Shore Road and the surrounding area. And I'm sure other people on this board and many people in our neighborhood, our next door, are very, very frustrated. And I really would like to know if something is going to be done.
Yes, this is, I mean, this is old business. We've been talking about this for a while. It's not just Shore Road. You know, it's on 3rd Avenue, it's on 4th Avenue, it's on the side streets. I mean, I hear them zooming around at night. I'm sure, you know, anyone who's listening does. You know, they have these modified exhausts that put out a lot of noise, popping sounds. It's a problem. It's a huge problem, not just the noise, but, you know, the danger of the speeds that they're driving at. And it's been a huge problem, and we need enforcement. You know, the electeds are obviously aware of it. This isn't just in our neighborhood. You know, I was in Queens this week and I see them driving around there. This is really, it's a problem. And so, you know, Josephine, I guess, you know, we can again speak, you know, pass this on to our police department, request additional enforcement.
There's a precinct council meeting on Wednesday, and we'll bring it up.
I mean, what about speed bumps? What about police stationed at certain corners, or cameras of these cars that then they could go after them? I mean, I don't understand. It doesn't seem like the police are doing anything, quite frankly.
May I just a comment?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Habib.
I have a guy that's taking pictures of these cars with the license plates, and I do myself, and I send it to 68 precinct. If they are not running their mufflers, they are running their music.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, we are losing. You should see them in front of my clinic, in front of the juice bar on 69. It's crazy. They are really crazy, and then mostly these cars are Pennsylvania plates.
Yeah, it's a huge problem, and it's a plague that's really going on, and we need enforcement. You know, I mean, there are some speed cameras. I'm sure to the extent that they're speeding by them, maybe they're getting tickets. Are they paying them? Who knows? You know, but you know, it's quality of life, and it's also dangerous. It's just dangerous. So, you know, again, we can bring this to, you know, our elected officials and to our police department, and, you know, see if we can get some movement on this. I do know some time back, Senator Gedansky did have proposed some legislation with regard to these vehicles with the noisy mufflers. My feeling, it's enforcement. So I would say, let's reach out to our police department once again. Anybody else? Old business? Larry?
I know I spoke with Josephine about my observations of the policy of bicycles in Madrid, the Spanish capital, this summer. If you just enter my comments into the minutes, they'll be fine. If you do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Larry. You know, just on bicycles, I'd like to bring, I read an interesting article about, you know, the pedestrian and bicycle crowding in the streets in Paris, and they have a terrible time with it because everyone goes at the same time, and pedestrians are hit, and bicycles are just, you know, going everywhere. You know, it's great for the environment to reduce vehicle traffic. It's great for people's health, but we do need rules, so everyone just needs to know what direction we're supposed to be going in and when we're supposed to be going, so that we're just not running into each other. I think that would be just go a really long way. One of the things that they did mention was that, you know, in other countries where they have more of a cyclist culture, that children are educated on bicycle safety and the rules of, you know, bicycle travel in the streets in school. And that was something I had when I was young. I don't know what happened to it, you know, but we got our lesson. You get out on your bike, you have to do your hand signals, you know, they taught us the whole thing.
Wow.
I think that that would be something really great. If, you know, we're increasing bicycle traffic on the streets, let's make sure that everyone's doing it safely. So I agree with you, Larry. I think that that's a great thing. Okay. So I know everybody wants to go to sleep or eat dinner or whatever you want to do. So any more questions, comments, old business? Do we have any new business?
I just want to congratulate the new committee chairs and commend them on excellent reports tonight, and to acting committee chairs. All of the new chairs and acting chairs did a terrific job tonight.
Yes, and that includes you, Doris, because you
I didn't have a meeting.
Not tonight, but in general, you are one of the hardest working women in show business. So, okay, thank you. So do we have a motion to adjourn? Yay, I've got seconds, I've got thirds, all in favor. Okay, everyone have a great night. Thank you so much.